Well, hello, this is Mrs. Schrader Shook again, and here I am explaining to you what is this week's reading activity, okay? So first I'm going to read you a story, and then I'm going to use that story that I'm reading to help explain how do you complete this week's activity. So you get to choose whatever fictional story that you would like to read this week, and then you'll use that fictional story to help respond to the prompts that you will see on your seesaw activity. So the book I'm going to use to explain is Pete the Cat, Too Cool for School. I love Pete the Cat, do you? Pete wants to look cool. He asks everyone, "What should I wear?" "Wear your yellow shirt," his mom says. "It is my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear your red shirt," Pete's friend Marty says. "It is my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear your blue shirt," Pete's brother Bob says. "It is my favorite." What do you think is going to happen? So Pete does. Are you noticing a pattern? What pattern are you noticing? "Wear your long pants," Pete's teacher says. "They are my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear the shorts with the fish," Pete's friend Callie says. "They are my favorite." So Pete does. Look at Pete. He's wearing the long pants that his teacher said to wear. And then he's putting the shorts over the top. Oh my, what's going to happen? "Wear the polka dot socks," the bus driver says. "They are my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear the cowboy boots," Grumpy Toad says. "They are my favorite." So Pete does. Oh my, look at all those clothes he's wearing. "Wear the tie with the stripes," Emma says. "It is my favorite." So Pete does. "Wear your baseball hat," his coach says. "It is my favorite." So Pete does. Pete puts on all the clothes. Does he look cool? What do you think? Does wearing all those clothes that other people told him to wear, does that make Pete look cool? Let's see what Pete does. No. Pete looks silly. He also feels very hot. What do you think Pete should do? He's put on all those clothes that everyone told him to wear. He thought he would look cool, but he just feels hot. What should Pete do? Pete goes home. He changes his clothes. He puts on his favorite shirt. He puts on his favorite pants. I like this idea, do you? Pete puts on his favorite socks. Pete puts on his favorite shoes. Pete puts on his sunglasses. You know he likes to wear sunglasses. Pete says, "Now I am cool." look at that. Pete putting on all the clothes he wants to wear. If you want to be cool, just be you. All right, so now that we've read this story, I'm going to explain how I'm going to use this story to complete the activity. Then you're going to use your own story that you wanted to read. Make sure it's a fictional story so that it makes sense with this week's activity. And then you will complete your own. So I'm going to move you over so that you can see the activity to complete. I have to prop up my iPad. Okay, so you have 6 slides to complete this week, and your first slide is all about the characters in your story. It says, who is the main character? Take a picture of the main character and post it on this slide. Then use the mic feature and tell me something about this character. So you can see right here, there's this big space. You are going to use the camera on Seesaw to take a picture of the main character of your story. Then you're going to use your voice and record so that you can explain to me who was that main character. When you're done with that, you move to slide 2. Here's what that looks like. Slide 2 is about the setting. That's where our story is taking place. What is the setting of your story? Take a picture of the setting and post it on this slide. Then use the mic feature and tell me something about the setting. Again, you can see all that blank space. This is where you will take a picture, post it right here of your setting, and then you will use the mic and explain to me what's going on that explains the setting of your story. Then, when you're done, you move to slide 3. Slide 3 is about the problem. Do you remember the problem in our Pete the Cat story? On this slide, you have to take a picture. Think, what is the problem of your story? Take a picture of the problem and post it on the slide. Then, use the mic feature and tell me something about the problem. So I want you to take a picture and again record your voice to explain your problem in a little bit more detail than what I can see in your picture. Then you have your solution. The solution is how the problem was solved. So what is the solution of the story that you pick? Again, you take a picture of the solution, post it on that slide, then use the mic feature and tell me something about the solution. So take your picture, post it in this blank space, and then record your voice to tell me about the solution or how the problem was solved. 2 slides to go. Here you get to tell me what was your favorite part of the whole story. Same as before, you're going to take a picture of your favorite part. Then after your picture is on there, you'll record your voice to tell me what was your favorite part and why was that your favorite part of your whole story. On your last slide, you get to rate your book. A rating is when you tell me how did you feel about it. It's like giving your opinion. So you have 3 choices. You're going to circle 1 star if you thought the book that you chose was just okay. You'll circle 2 stars if you thought that it was a pretty good book. And you'll circle 3 stars if you thought, oh, this book was great. I really liked the book that I chose. Because you know what? Sometimes we read books that we love, and sometimes we read books that we don't really like. So it's okay to not like all the books you read, but I want to know, what was your opinion of the book you decided to rate today? Okay, so when you're done with that, you can record your voice. Now I want you to watch an example of how I completed these slides using our Pete the Cat story, okay? So, here I took a picture of Pete the Cat. You can see I took a picture of one of the illustrations, and then I recorded my voice. So I'm gonna play it so that you can hear what I said. is Pete the cat. Pete the cat is the main character. Pete tries to find something for him to wear to school that he's happy about. So again, on that first slide, you just take a picture of your character and tell me something about that character. Here's slide 2 where I explained the setting. There weren't a lot of background pictures in my story, so I had to think, where was this story going on? In this story, Pete goes around wearing lots of different clothes. The setting takes place all around his neighborhood. So that was the setting. Time to move to slide 3. Here is where I'm explaining the problem of my story. The problem is that Pete keeps trying clothes that other people want him to wear. He realizes that he looks silly and feels very hot because he's wearing so many clothes. Then I get to move to the solution. How did Pete solve his problem? The solution that Pete has is to change his clothes to put on all of his favorite things. After he does that, he feels cool. Almost done. 2 slides to go. Here I took a picture of my favorite part and I explained why. My favorite part in the story is when Pete decided to put on what he wanted to wear. I liked it because Pete got to show his own style and not what anyone else wanted him to wear. And now I get to pick 1 star, 2 stars, or 3 stars. I circled 3 stars. I thought this book was great because I love that it taught a good lesson about wearing what you want and being happy with who you are. So once I finished all those slides, I would hit the green check mark to send it back to me. Again, this was Mrs. Schrader-Shook explaining this week's reading activity. I hope you have fun reading your story and explaining all the things about your story that are important, your character, your setting, your problem, your solution, your favorite part, and then telling me your special rating. See you next week.